The broadcast is brought to you by students of Hilo High School, KVIKS Media.
Aloha, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Makamai Kamakamauhili. I am a volunteer at the Hilo High School KVIKS Media Program, and I will be your commentator for this morning's regatta. Hello! Hello! This morning we are live at Hilo Bayfront Beach Park. Today the regatta takes teams from each high school participating in outrigger canoe paddling for the school year of 2021-2022. If you are watching the live stream right now, be sure to share this link with your friends and family and have them tune in as well. Simply tell them to go to hilohigh.org/livesports and they can get access right away. This regatta will be available on YouTube and NFHS after the game is done. So if you missed any part of the game, or if you want to watch it again, you can access it almost right away. If you have not done so yet, please be sure to follow Hilo High School on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Hilo High School. Download our app and visit our official website at hilohigh.org. And if you're interested in following our KVIKS media program, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at KVIKS Media, and visit our official website, kviks.org. Alright, good morning everybody. Today on the agenda, it seems that we are starting with the junior varsity girls. Following them will be JV boys, varsity girls, and varsity boys. Then following those races, we will have a 15-minute break, and then we will do a quarter mile varsity non-scoring. After that will be the varsity mixed heats, JV mix, and the varsity mixed finals. Alrighty. Hope you enjoy this live stream today, as it is one of the first live streams that we will be doing here on YouTube for KVIKS, which is quite amazing. Getting ready for their race. The weather today seems to be quite overcast, not too hot yet, thank goodness.
Where do you want me to go? Okay. I'll bring my chair.
Everyone seems to be excited that they are able to paddle today.
How about here? Is this okay?
Here we can see Kamehameha Canoe Club. Kamehameha Schools. Excuse me. Alright, so the JV girls who are racing today, in lane 2 we have HPA. In lane 4 we have Canoe, I believe. And in lane 3 we have Pahor. Alrighty, so we are getting ready to line up and get this races started. And they're off. They are racing to the finish line at the official stand. And here we have the JV girls. And here we have quite a good race. Number 11, canoe number 11 seems to be pulling in front of everybody. I believe that canoe number 11 is no, maybe. Yes, and here we have a race. You can see they are all fighting to the finish. We have a canoe club on the inside. And here you can see they are still fighting to the finish. This is a quarter-mile race. And they're almost halfway there. They are now 3/4 of the way there, and they seem to be finishing quite tightly, actually, quite close together. And this finish is pretty close. It looks pretty close. Let's see who's going to pull out on top. I've been in one of those seats before for junior varsity girls. It's actually quite enjoyable. Alrighty. And I believe canoe number 11 just passed the finish line first. And they seem to have gotten the victory unofficially. And that was our first race of the day here at Hilo Bayfront. And now we are just gonna have them switch out for their next races. Hilo High School was not in that race, but I believe they will be in the JV boys. Alrighty, and here we can see the canoes paddling in. With that beautiful mountain, Mauna Kea, behind them. We are so glad that the races are on, especially during this time of the pandemic. It's amazing that we can be out on the water again. And here we have our bolt holders. They seem to be walking the beach. They do hold the canoes in the beginning, just to ensure that no one is over the line when they start, to ensure a fair race. And here you can see the canoes are getting ready to dock back at the beach and switch out their crews. Here in this shot, in the background, you are able to see that Hilo High is in their orange and green canoe. The beach seems seems to be fairly empty in comparison to other high school seasons prior to the pandemic. And here we can see Hilo High starting to paddle out in their green and orange canoe. The name of the canoe is Kamaha'o, and the number is C2. So they're paddling off, getting ready to line up. In this orange and green canoe, for their lineup, they have Uakea Kealoha, Noah Kuali'i, Micah Kuali'i, Logan Figueroa, Ulumoku Valente, and Kavika Peterson. Their alternate is Rylan Ishii. And this is for the JV boys. The coach for Hilo High School is Aloha Mauhili, and Moku Handley Jr. Volunteer coaches are Konoe Mauhili Komaka, as well as Kim Rowe. And as you can see, we have the boat holders along with the paddlers so that they can go ahead and hold the canoe when they get to the starting line.
I don't even know if this thing is working. I'm just gonna turn my head around. Can you hear me guys back there? Oh my goodness, I'm live. Hello, my name is Luke Eclipse Sahano, and I am the advisor for KVIKS Media. And it is so happy to be on commentary with my very special guest, Makamai. Makamai, tell us a little bit of history of our canoeing and you, please.
Little history about me. Well, I have been involved in the paddling community for a very long time. Maybe about 10 years now. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really keep count. Well, in this green and orange canoe, that is where I had my first paddling lessons. So it's really special to see Hilo High School using it today.
Yeah, and that boat is named Kamaha'o. What does that mean? You don't know? I do know that is someone's middle name, so I don't want to really say who, but I just
Wow.
definitely know that.
Yeah, I don't want to give the wrong definition while on live. So,
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
There we have on screen is our wonderful Clara Steele, our broadcast tech holding the microphone, so you don't just have to hear our voices today. On camera today we have Tatsuya Koch running on the I think the camera 6, Nathan Regassa on camera 5. And we have also here broadcast text Kalani Kali'i Pa'akao, Mason Bartolome, Kanalu Aurelio, and I think I'm forgetting a couple people, but I don't remember who. Oh, that's right, I know who exactly. And Rihanna Lagronio. That's it, totally. And of course, our wonderful director, Jasmine Gardner.
She is wonderful indeed.
Definitely. And so we have here a couple teachers as well. We have a crowd here down at Bayfront Park. And I got to tell you that while we wait for this stuff, this is the first time that we broadcasted any kind of thing at the beach, no less, you know? So we have a couple teachers here watching. We have Miss Nolan on the left. And so she's watching with her husband, I believe. And so we do have a wonderful crowd here. Everyone's nice and sunny day today, not raining yet. We don't want to say that, but the one thing I'd like to say is it's a Mauna day today. We can see the top of Mauna Kea very clearly. This is a very beautiful day in Hawaii. Don't you say?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
that rhymed.
very.
I love it.
Very beautiful today indeed.
So what is the next heat coming up now, Makamai?
The next heat coming up right now is the junior varsity boys.
All right. And so for the junior varsity heat, they only go from flag to flag. They don't turn around?
No, they do not turn. This is a quarter-mile straightway. When the varsity actually do a turn around the flag that they are lining up.
All right. So what are those people on the boats down there? The one with the yellow flag on the boat.
That is a starter boat.
Okay.
Normally, they would wave the flag, and once the yellow drops, that is the start of the race.
Got it. And so the yellow to give a little bit of our audience some context, the starter boat is on the left. So that is not technically the starter flag. That is a starting lane flag. It's on the boat
Yes.
on the left. So there is one person. That's the holding boat, correct?
Well, that one person on that one man, I am not entirely sure if they're involved here at the high school. They may be, they may not be. They could just be a coach giving some words of encouragement.
All right.
Righty, so there seems to be 3 canoes in this race. And they're off. Ready, so in lane 1 is Waiakea, in lane 2 it is Hilo High, and in lane 3 it looks like Kealakehe.
A lot of strong effort by all
Yeah,
teams.
the inside seems to be pulling away. Again, that is Waiakea.
To the lane closest toward us is Waikea High School, so that's lane 1.
Yes.
Okay. You can really hear them trying to coordinate 1, 2.
Yes.
The inside bow definitely is way ahead.
Yes. Hilo High seems to be in second though, which is really good. They're about to finish up here.
And is that the race?
That seems to be the race, yes. So they have just finished the junior varsity boys.
All right, well, so what can be expected for the next heat here today, Makamai?
This next heat, I believe, is the varsity girls. They will be starting at the official stand, which is to our left, where the JVs have been finishing. So that's where the varsity heats will start, because they do start from sort of the finish line, because that is the finish line. So they would start from there, they would make their turn as to where the JV started, and then they would race back, and that is a half mile.
All right. So it looks like for varsity, they do a half mile, but instead of, as you said before, instead of starting from where JV started, they do a turnaround right at those flags. So that's a quarter mile, and then they roll a quarter mile back.
Yes.
Then at the official stand, that's where they make the call as to who wins the heat.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so let's say we can see on camera. I see one of the teams here.
I believe that is Waikea.
Like, yeah. So in terms of the lanes, so the closest lane to us, we consider lane 1.
Yes, that is correct. And that lane's color is red.
Red. So we have the different link colors. You have red, yellow, green. I think is that.
That's orange, and then I went
There's one in
too
the middle.
far. One in the middle is actually.
Is that black and white? Blue
yes,
and white?
that looks like black and white.
There's a blue and gold. There's a blue, and at the far end, is that another flag at the end? Or is that just a buoy?
That is another flag at the end. That is the last lane.
So that'll be red as well?
Yes, I believe.
So how is paddling different than other sports? Of course, you have to have upper body strength, but do you really need to have other kinds of muscles worked out in order to compete?
Paddling is a full body workout, actually. So of course you're using your arms, but in order to make sure that you don't fall out of the canoe while you're racing, you do have to brace yourself while in the canoe with your legs.
Wow, that definitely takes a lot of strength. So these athletes have to be in their top shape.
Yes, they do.
Of course, this is our very first live stream here doing canoe paddling for BIIF. And I think last week or a couple weeks ago, canoe paddling was competing in Kona.
Yes, they were.
Are there any other locations on the island that they do compete at, or is it just Hilo and Kona?
It is just Hilo and Kona. They do long distance races during the regular season, but for school season, it is usually just Kona and Hilo.
All right. What's very funny is that when we were scheduling the canoe paddling for the Hilo High School calendar, on top of the BIIF website, it actually said that the Kona contests will only be happening unless there were no natural disasters, because I believe there was a tsunami issue on one of the canoe paddling meets. So
yes, there was.
it's quite funny to see that on their official website to say that it's pending weather or natural disasters.
Yes, that was, yeah. So as we can see here, it is the varsity girls getting ready, getting lined up for their race.
You're unable to see this on camera, but looking actually probably on camera 6, you can see the YK High School team carrying their boat off of the sand, or onto the sand. It takes a lot of people to really carry that boat. It's a good thing that teams have a really large amount of people, huh?
Yes, it is very helpful when you have a large team to help you carry up those canoes, because those canoes weigh quite a bit. It's a team effort.
All right, looking at the starting boat, looks like they're not really holding up the flags yet, so I guess they're still waiting for people to get started.
Yes, they are. And on that starter boat, you actually have a yellow flag, a red flag, and a green flag. I assumed earlier that they only had their yellow flag, so it is when the red drops when they go.
Okay. I did see a green flag, though. I think they're holding a green flag right now.
Yes, they are getting ready to start.
Okay.
And we can still see that beautiful Mauna Kea in the background.
So as we continue to up the production value of this broadcast, I'll be now handing over our color commentary, to our wonderful Kalani Kali'ipa'aka'o. And so he's going to continue on speaking with you and to give a little bit of color to this broadcast.
It's wonderful.
We're going to try to see if we can add some music, guys. Be great.
And aloha, I am Kalani Kili'ipa'akawa, and I'm going to be commentating first time for canoe paddling, along with Makamai. So how does paddling work?
So paddling is a full body workout. It is considered, well, I consider it actually one of the best workouts you can get on the water. And basically you are racing 6 people in one canoe. And each person in that canoe has a different sort of responsibility to the race itself. So as you can see, they are actually beginning They have just started, and they are off. So as I was saying before, each seat has their own sort of responsibility.
Yeah. Does the back one turn the boat?
Yes, the number 6 in the seat, so the very back of the boat, is actually called the steersman. And they steer the canoe to, 1, ensure it's going straight and they stay in their lane. And 2, they will be responsible for turning around the turn flags.
Which is the yellow, green, and red ones, yeah?
Yes, and they actually match. So
They match the color of the
yes,
boat?
so the lane 1 would be, no, sorry, not the boat. Lane 1, red. On the right is also lane 1 red on the left. So
Okay, that's what you meant.
yes, that it coordinates. And here in this, in the camera, you can actually see the starter boat. This is where they start the races with their flags. And behind them, you can see that Canoe F9 is pulling in front of Kamehameha. Or that might not be Kamehameha.
Yeah, I was about to ask which
Yeah, I
boat
was
is
like,
which.
that's not. Yeah. Actually, not too sure at the moment.
I figured the boat would match the school colors of the school they're racing for, but that doesn't seem like the case.
No, not necessarily. Yeah, not the case. Some canoes, some schools use different canoes. And they are getting ready to make this turn around the flags. Watching these races today really makes me miss paddling. Have you ever tried paddling before?
No.
No? Oh, well, that's alright. What kind of sports do you do? If you do any.
I didn't really do much sports, but in my intermediate years, I liked basketball.
They're now turning around the flag. That was a pretty good turn, I would say. And now they are trying to get out of that turned position. And now they're all racing back to the finish line. And that looks like, to me, Kamehameha schools in the Kikuo colony. I am actually an alumni from there. I was once in that boat. And right now, Kealakahe, I believe, seems to be catching their, as we call
Oh, wow,
it.
they're gaining a lot of speed.
Yes, their second wind. So they seem to be catching up and trying to surpass Kamehameha for this first place.
And they have successfully surpassed the ones in second place.
Yes, they did. There's still a ways to go. Anything can happen, but to me it seems that Kealakahe is pulling away from Kamehameha, leaving them in second. Unofficially.
So once they race to the flag, turn around, and race back to the flag, then they win for first.
Yes. Yes, as long as there were no disqualifications.
What were to happen if the boat was to flip over?
I believe they have 5 to 7 minutes to flip the boat back over and continue on with the race.
What happens if they don't flip the boat back within 5 to 7 minutes?
Then they are either, I believe, disqualified, or a boat will come out and help them flip over the canoe. Because, of course, we have the safety of all of our paddlers in mind when that happens. Not uncommon to happen, though. You'd be surprised that it happens quite a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, with the pending the weather conditions and the wave conditions, and anything can happen when it comes to the canoe and the waves. It happens quite a bit in Kona actually because of the waves and how the lanes are angled. And that was our varsity girls race.
Varsity?
Yes, that was the varsity girls.
So what were the ones that came before the varsity girls? Was that JV?
That was, yes, JV. And they only did a quarter mile,
Oh, okay.
which is still quite tough. So now I believe we are getting ready for the varsity boys in this next race. And then after this race, we will have a 15-minute break so that the clubs can regroup and get ready for the next half of their regatta.
So you mentioned that you paddled before. Exactly how many teams did you paddle for?
So in high school I paddled just for Kamehameha schools because that's where I attended on this side of the island. And then during the off season or the club season, I paddled for Kalana Canoe Club, which is the green and orange canoe that they are using. That Hilo High School, apologies, are using. And I also paddled for Kyokoha Canoe Club, which is the boat that Kamehameha Schools is using.
Ah.
Yes.
How was it? Did you like it? Was it fun?
I loved it. Well, love-hate relationship, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Working out is no longer my thing, but it was great at the time. I loved it. Yeah, it was very nice being able to paddle out there on the ocean. It's very freeing and clears your mind a lot.
Did you like the people you were paddling with?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed every bit. Everyone has a different way of paddling, and they all bring something different to the table when we all do paddle together.
So to keep the boat balanced when you paddle, it's one paddling to the left, right, left, right.
Yes, it alternates. There are some drills out there where you may see paddlers all on the left side, and then when they switch over to the right side, sometimes the canoe does flip, but that's just a drill to help keep yourself centered.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So they wouldn't do that in a race. During a race, it's alternating left and right.
I've also noticed that the steersman's paddle is shorter. Is that to help it steer more?
The canoe paddle sort of depends on like the height. So each person that paddles has a chance to get a paddle that matches their height per se, and the steersman paddle actually has a larger blade on the bottom part so that they can steer the canoe better. And here I have with me La'iku, who have actually paddled with me before at Kamehameha Schools. So La'iku, want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, aloha mai kākou. My name is La'iku Paleka. I'm a graduate of Kamehameha Schools, same Makamai, and we both paddled, together for like 2 years, I think. And I paddled for all 3 years of my high school career before the virus came. So.
That's right. Yeah, attending high school with the virus must have been tough.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then sports stopped, so I didn't get to do it my senior year.
Right, man, I would have been heartbroken.
Yeah, you were lucky. You get to paddle to like senior year.
Yep, I got to experience the senior year and all the signs and the gifts. Yes, that was amazing. Yeah, so up next, I believe we have the varsity boys. You raced the varsity boys, yeah?
Actually, no, I can't really remember if I did varsity, but I know I did those races where you have to paddle to the one end, turn around, and go back. So
Yes.
maybe I was in like one of the varsity races before.
Yeah, I think I remember you might have been. Yeah. So how about you? Did you like paddling?
Yeah, paddling was really good. It was very different, definitely. It's also one of the only sports that don't offer scholarships. So yeah, it was very different and it stood out from the rest of the sports in high school. But it definitely kept me in shape because you have to be really fit to do this sport.
Yeah, I agree. Ever since COVID happened, I have not been working out at all.
Yeah, when I was in paddling, I was like 140 pounds and I could run like 5 miles non-stop.
Right? Yeah, those run drills we had to do, that was ridiculous. And they're off. They are starting their varsity boys race.
It's usually in the beginning where all the teams usually start off really strong
Yes, yes it is.
because all the adrenaline and stuff in the build-up, it makes you really paddle really hard at the beginning. But you can
Yes.
feel it slowly start to like fade away as they make the turn.
Yeah, yes. It's all of them. It's a matter of controlling that adrenaline so that you have enough of it to carry you throughout the race.
Yeah, and also like conserving your energy too. That's also a big part.
Yeah, it really is. Man, I miss paddling so much. Makes me wish I was back in high school so I could
Yeah.
paddle with these people again. And here in that green and orange canoe, we have Hilo High School. And I did not mention before, but they also have members, students from the Nabahi Kalaniopuu charter school. So yes, and here we can see them paddling their absolute hardest to get to that turn flag first. It is very beneficial to get to that turn flag first.
Yeah. But it's important to conserve your energy because once you turn around, you have to just push your hardest.
Yes, yes you do.
Because I've seen teams who are like all the way in the back, and once they turn around, they somehow just make it to first place.
Yes, it's incredible. That's why I love paddling. It's all a matter of pace and making sure you can conserve that amount of energy in order to finish the race strong.
And it's all about having a good steersman too. So they have to really make sure you turn around that flag like really sharp, so that
Yes.
you don't lose energy turning.
Yes, and you can see that this white canoe is starting their turn right now around that yellow flag. Oh, and Hilo High. Hilo High is turning around their flag.
We have Hilo
And they're out. They are out.
Their turn.
Yes. So right now we have Kea'au, Kealokehe, and Hilo High already out of their turns and racing to the finish.
Oh wow, that white canoe, it seems they kept their energy because they're really paddling hard now.
Yes, they really are. And right next to them, we can see that Hilo High is also giving them a bit of a competition.
Teams Hilo and Kea'au are kind of fighting for that second place.
Yes, yes they are. And we can see the white pulling away. And Kea'au and Hilo, they are lined up. Hilo was put out in the further lane. So, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it seems like two different races apparently are going on. We have those fighting for the top three, and the rest of the pack are behind fighting for the next places.
It's really hard to see from here. I can't really tell who's in second or third.
Yeah, we are at an angle right now, so we're not entirely sure.
But Hilo and Kea'au are like really close.
Yes. Yes. As we can see, it's not on the camera actually, the boat has a black flag up, which means that someone has disqualified. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Did you see
I
who
didn't know
happened
that.
to? Oh, never mind. So maybe someone buried the flag, and I was too distracted by watching who was fighting for first. But yeah, something must have happened for that black flag to be up. And they have just finished the race.
Yeah, I think maybe the black flag. Maybe someone hit one of the turning the flags on the turn.
Maybe someone buried it. It doesn't look like it, but maybe someone did. Or maybe someone went into the wrong lane when they made that turn.
Yeah, I remember that being like a thing we used to practice a lot during practice, was not running over the flag.
Yes, that was... I really like making turns for practices. Those were fun. And that varsity boys crew was Malachi and Vailea, Eha, Ohai, Philip, and Kahalia. Their alternates were Kahiao and Kalai. And those were the people that was in that green and orange canoe.
What race is up next?
The next race would be the quarter mile non-scoring varsity. But we do have a scheduled 15-minute break, I believe. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember the non-scoring races.
Those were fun.
I used to want to be in those because you don't have to worry about coming in first. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not scoring. So.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, those are the best kind of races when you could paddle. I'm not saying for fun, but because paddling is fun. It's just non-competitively. It takes the pressure off. The weather seems to be getting pretty hot today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever think about paddling for like a club on the off season?
I did, but it usually takes place like during other sports times, so I was never really able to kind of paddle during club.
Oh, nice. And you do other sports?
Yeah.
Like?
Well, I did air riflery, so that was.
Oh, that's right. I also did air riflery, but I
Yeah.
stopped like like 2 years in my sophomore year. I was like, okay, I think I'm done. I'm gonna focus on paddling. Huh.
Yeah, paddling was like the only active sport I pretty much did, and it definitely kept me active.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they're not gonna take their break. They seem to be doing the... This looks like non-scoring, I believe. I think.
What seat were you always put in?
I was always put in 3 or 4.
Oh, that's a powerhouse seat, yeah.
Yeah, those are fun seats. You don't really have to worry about anything except for
Yeah.
pulling the canoe. Yeah, that was, yeah. And you were in seat 1, yeah?
Yeah, the coach would always put me in seat 1, and it was the most frustrating thing ever. Because seat 1, if anybody doesn't know, seat 1 is called the stroker. So they're basically in charge of setting the pace for the entire race. So if you're paddling slow, then the whole team behind you is going to paddle slow. And if you're paddling fast, then everyone's going to paddle fast. So you're really in charge of like kind of keeping the pace, and depending on what pace you keep, that depends on how fast your canoe goes. But it's also really hard too because you're paddling in dead water because you're in the front. So you're pulling extra hard, and you have to have a really long reach so that it doesn't, like, the canoe doesn't drop. And yeah, so the coach always put me in that position. I don't know why, because I was like, I was really weak.
Oh, because you were good at it. You're good at setting the pace. Yeah, it was super fun. I really enjoy being in the powerhouse seats, which is 3 and 4, because I don't necessarily have to think very much like about setting the pace or steering the canoe. All I really have to focus on is pulling that canoe and making sure we have enough power to back up the stroker and seat 2.
Yeah, the powerhouse is like really important because sometimes if powerhouse drops their power, then you can feel the entire canoe just like sink into the water.
Yeah.
And it starts to move really slow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So 3 and 4 is crucial, and number 5 is also very important. It's very important that they're there because they do help the steersman have that extra boost of power out of the turn.
Yeah, and number 5 actually, because they're way in the back, they need to paddle kind of like a split second before everyone else, because if they paddle at the same time, they're actually
Throws
off.
it off. Yeah, I believe that.
And then seat 2 is important because they're usually the ones who calls out the changes, and they keep the timing for their side of the canoe. So.
Yeah, I've been in every seat, but my preferred seat is 4. Yeah, and calling changes is also very important. So calling changes is basically, for those who don't know, is to switch sides when they're paddling, so that we don't stay on one side the entire time. And that's also very important.
Yeah, and you have to keep a pace. So like it's usually like maybe like 4 strokes or 3 strokes or something before we change sides. And if the person who calls it out is off, then it causes like confusion and stuff, and
Yes, yes, it does.
people get like fatigued really fast too.
Yeah, or if you call the changes too early or late when you're just about to finish and the boat jerks and
Oh yeah, that's
yeah, that I have done that a couple times.
yeah. That's why if you're on one side, like a couple, like if you're close to the ending flag, we just stay on the same side, because if you switch, it's
See,
gonna.
I thought so, but then I stayed on that side for way too long, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's why it's really.
I thought we were closer.
Yeah, that's why it's important to keep timing in your head, so you have to be really focused.
Yeah, you have to be really focused. I actually enjoy calling the changes because I guess it helps me stay on timing with the rest of the boat, so
Yeah.
it's really nice. Yeah.
I was never in charge of calling changes because I'm too quiet.
Oh.
But yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and let's just talk about number 6, man. Number 6s, they are the steersmen. They
Oh yeah,
are the most important.
number 6 is the most. They're basically like the captains of the canoe, pretty much, because they
Yes.
have to take care of they have to make sure everyone's following like the changes, following the pace.
Yeah.
And they have to turn the canoe.
Yeah, no, I do not prefer to steer. I have steered like a couple times. I've only steered one race though. and that was
I've never
scary.
steered at all, and I really wanted to try and work my way up to steersman,
Oh.
but I never got it.
Well, if you join a club, I'm pretty sure you could.
The steersman is usually like the short and the shortest person on the team too. That's what I realized, because the coach would pick out the shortest person on the team and be like, "Oh, you want to be steersman?" Because you can't have too much. It's like offsetting the weight kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I realized. He would make the smallest people be steersmen.
Yeah, I'm only laughing because I'm fairly short. That's why I could never go in number 1 because my reach isn't long enough.
Yeah, and I was long.
Yeah, you're taller,
unfortunately,
so yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and as you can see here, this is the non-scoring crew, a mix of Hill High School and Navajo students in this green and orange canoe, and their 2 boat holders as well.
I think all teams are in this non-scoring one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of canoes lining up.
Yeah, I think because non-scoring you can put, well, anybody in within academic.
Yeah, I think the non-scoring races were usually the ones where the coaches would kind of test out who they want on the actual major scoring races.
Yes, yes.
Especially if a person is new to the team too, they'd kind of use the non-scoring race to test out their ability.
Yeah, I agree. I miss non-scoring races.
Yeah, me too, because it was just fun. I didn't have to worry or stress out
Yeah.
about winning or something.
Yeah, it's super fun. Yeah, the lanes seem really full today for this non-scoring race.
Lining up is usually the most nerve-wracking part.
It really is, especially with the other canoes there. It's like you're trying to look intimidating, but you also don't want to look.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
Before the virus, the beaches would be packed with people, and it would be really noisy. But once you line up, it's quiet,
Yes.
and it takes on a totally different feeling, and it's weird.
It really does, yeah. It's like it puts you in that mindset that you're getting ready to race, and yeah, it's just super intense sometimes.
Yeah,
where you go when
yeah.
you leave, when you launch off that noisy beach, and it's just quiet when you're out
Yeah, it's
there.
it's so calm out there when you're lining up, which is
Yeah.
weird because you're also very anxious at the same time.
Yeah, and your adrenaline's pumping, and it's just sorry. Right in front of us, there seemed to have been someone who flipped. Sorry, that totally caught me off guard. Yeah. But yeah, so like we said before, flipping is a thing, so they do have to be careful of it. Have you ever been in a race where you hoolied?
No, my steersmen were good, that's why. Yeah, if the steersman is, flipping is kind of rare in Hilo Bay because Hilo Bay is pretty flat, but out in Kona races when it's choppy, flipping is kind of
Yeah,
happens
it's
pretty
pretty often. It happens pretty often, yeah.
but it's a good thing they do huli drills during practice.
Yes.
So if anyone
it
doesn't know,
is.
huli drills are drills for when you flip. So they make you paddle out in the middle of the deep, and they just make you flip the canoe, and you have to get it out, flip it back over, empty out the water as fast as you can, and then paddle back to shore. So they did that a couple times.
Yeah, that was interesting. I've done a lot actually in my life.
Well,
so
they're about to start,
yes, they are.
and now they
And they're
start.
off. Yes, and we have a race.
I believe this is just a one-way, right?
Yes, this is a quarter mile.
Yeah. On the quarter-mile races, they can just like push their hardest because you don't have to turn or anything.
Yes, you
so
can just sprint, and it's
It's just a
yeah.
it's just a sprint race.
I really miss quarter mile races. So in the canoe today, in that green and orange one, we have Mokoa, Ofa, Rylan, and Kahiao. Our alternates are Philip, Reina, and Vaiolu. Oh, my apologies. We also have Reina and Vaiolu in the canoe, and our alternate is Philip.
The canoe closest to us is way ahead.
Yes, they are. They seem to be pulling away up everyone, but right behind them seems to be Hilo High.
Hilo seems to be fighting for
Second.
and Kao again also fighting as well.
Yes, and Kamehameha seems to be in there as well. If that is Kamehameha.
Though there's another team using one of Kamehameha's canoes.
Yes, that is why earlier I was very
So-
confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh my goodness. Which would you rather race, a quarter mile or a half mile?
For me, I would just race a quarter mile because it's just a sprint like what they're doing right now.
Yes, those are fun.
You can really fight too. Like Hilo, I think might be in second.
I think they are. From this angle, it looks like they are fighting very hard for that second place. And Kalakahe seems to be pulling away into that first. But again, we cannot see that that finish quite clearly. We can just see off of speculation. And they seem to be finishing up their non-scoring race.
Oh, I think Hilo was in third.
Oh, third.
Or maybe the farthest out canoe was...
Oh yeah, Kiao might have come up. And take that from them.
Damn. Every single race, it's usually just... I noticed just Hilo and Kao just always fighting for that second.
Yeah, because Kalakahe they're very good. I mean, every school is good in their own way, but there's some students that I know that are that paddle during the regular season, so yes. And we can see in the water that there are jet skis that pick up the bolt holders so that they don't have to swim in from the lanes that they're at, which is very nice.
Yeah, 'cause that's kind of a far swim.
Yeah, that's a bit of a far swim. Some coaches may choose to swim in from their lane, but personally, if I was to hold the boat, which is why they're called bolt holders, I would want a jet ski to pick me up. As we can see, Kiao is paddling in.
Okay, yeah, wait, back to flipping. So, when you flip in a race, that's really bad because you lose a lot of distance
Yes.
and time at the same time. And you also have to rush to like flip it back over and then empty out the stuff, the water, as much as you can. But there's still water, like shin, kind of maybe ankle level.
Oh, ankle level at least, yeah.
Yeah, and you just finish the race.
Yeah. Like, as long as you finish the race, I feel you have won.
Yeah, I remember it being really scary, especially in the Kona races too,
Oh,
because
yes.
when the tide rises, it gets really choppy, and you can see the ama, which is the outward
part of the
of
canoe. Yes.
Yeah, you can see it rise, like lift up, and you get really scared.
Yeah,
that
you
it's
get
just gonna
really
flip.
anxious.
Because if the wind catches the ama from underneath, and the canoe flips,
yes.
then you're done.
Then you're done. You will have to flip that back over as fast as you can, of course without getting pounded by the waves.
Yeah, because especially during high tide, you have to deal with the waves coming over,
Yeah.
and you like can't breathe. You have to tread water and flip that
Yeah,
heavy
and
canoe.
flip the canoe back over. It's crazy when that
So
happens.
it's really all about having a good steersman because
Yeah.
they have to lead you in that whole process of flipping it
Yes,
back.
they do. That's why it's very important to practice those huli drills so that you're not too scared when it happens. So that you can prepare enough to be able to flip it back over.
But also powerhouses too. Like sometimes if the ama is lifting up, I sometimes tell the powerhouses to like hold it down
Yeah.
because if
That's what I usually do as a C4. I usually just, I guess, try to catch the yako, which is the thing that attaches the canoe to that outward,
the ama.
yeah, the ama, to hold it down since it's right there behind me.
Yeah, because it's really hard. Like when we're going really fast and then the ama lifts up, you can feel the canoe tip, and it's it's really scary.
It's kind of exhilarating. Scary, but exhilarating.
And make sure not to make the mistake of jumping out when it flips, because the ama's gonna slam on
Yes,
you. and you
don't
might-
do that.
You might die. Yeah.
Well,
It's a really hard.
well,
it's a
yes,
heavy-
it's a heavy thing. You might get seriously injured if that happens. Yeah, which is
Yeah,
why.
so if you feel it flipping, you just hold on and just tuck your head down, or kind of just like wait till it flips. and
For
hold your
me,
breath
it
so the water
usually
doesn't go up your nose.
it usually happens so quickly. I'm like, oh, we flipped. Oh no! It's like I have no time to process that we're actually flipping. It's like it's crazy. It happens so quick.
Especially if you're in the front too, you can't see what's happening behind,
Mhm.
so you'll just be paddling normally and then just feel the whole thing flip.
I've never noticed that. I've always been a powerhouse when we either did huli drills or huli in a race, and I would be able to see the ama, but I never noticed that. If you were in seat 1, you wouldn't be able to
Yeah,
see.
so I'll just be paddling.
Wow.
I'll just be paddling normally and then I'll feel it flip.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
it's like, what just happened?
Now I can see why that's a bit scary, yeah. I guess for me I can see, so I have somewhat of a warning. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. But it's all about the steersman. The steersman can control it, and kind of feel the tide, make sure it doesn't flip.
Yes, so long as their crew is balanced,
Yeah.
which is again, the steersman can feel, I would assume, if they are off balance.
Paddling back from the race is usually like the best part, because you can just paddle and chill.
Yeah, you can paddle super chill.
Because like if I'm seat 1 and seat 2 too, like I always have to like throw up after too,
Yeah.
and a couple people threw up too, like after the races and stuff, because you just like
You give it your all.
yeah, it kills you. So the paddle back to your to where your school set up is really good.
Yeah, I really enjoy the paddle back. It's kind of fun. It's, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like this team right here,
Yeah.
you can just chill and paddle.
You just chill and paddle back. They are timed, but I don't think. Yeah. Yeah. Paddling out to the line, like you were saying before, it's pretty interesting because you paddle past all of the other clubs and you're just like, you're my competition.
Yeah, and the calmness is just so unnerving. I don't know. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it.
Yeah. But then
And like
once.
the coach too. Like the coach like tells you, because it's usually the coach who holds the boat.
Yeah.
And so they're like telling you like, oh, remember what I taught you guys in practice, pool and stuff. And it's like it's weird to hear them talking calm.
Yeah.
I don't
When
know,
they're
it's just
always
weird
like.
feeling, yeah.
Always so hyped up when they're coaching you, and then when it's super calm, I guess maybe because they know our adrenaline is pumping, so they want to try and calm us down so we don't go too fast in the beginning.
Or are they lining up?
They actually might be lining up. This could be the JV mix. I am not too sure yet. When we see more canoes, maybe we could
Oh,
that
yeah,
call.
I think there is a new race. I see Hilo getting ready too. They're paddling out right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, as you were saying, Hilo High is paddling out for this, I believe it's JV mixed. That's what it says on the schedule anyway.
The mixed races were pretty interesting.
The mixed races were always the most fun in my opinion. Did you ever paddle in a mixed race?
Yeah, I paddled plenty mixed races.
Oh really? I feel like I paddled once with you at least before in a mixed. maybe. Was it Vars Mix? It might have been Vars Mix. I feel like it was because I feel like I remember you in seat 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those are fun because I mean it's just different team members that you wouldn't normally paddle with.
Yeah, exactly. And like sometimes the boys they can pull more, and it's just like you have to make sure that your steersman can control that amount of power, especially with yeah. It's just different when you paddle like mixed. Yeah. As you can see on the camera, Hilo High School is paddling out.
Yeah, it is the mixed races.
Yeah, this is JV mix. They are doing a quarter-mile race today. For junior verse. I really miss paddling. Like I just want to go back so badly and just go back to racing, which they actually look to doing this season, this summer. So. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I liked it. I mean, I mostly did paddling just to stay active. But I always felt the practices felt good and stuff, and it feels good if you win.
Yeah, it really does. It feels really good.
But mostly for some reason, every single canoe I was in, we usually lost. We like rarely ever came in like first place. So, but when we did come in first place, I was like, yeah, I love this sport.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, it's a love-hate relationship, man. I mean, I really enjoy paddling. I was sort of, I guess, brought up into these sports, so yeah, like my great grandma paddled, my grandma paddled, my mom paddled, so it was yeah, I was gonna paddle.
I just only knew my mom and my auntie paddled.
Nice.
But that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, I think they're gonna start.
Yes. And they're off. They are starting their junior varsity mixed race. And in the Hilo High School canoe, we have Kaolino, Uakea, Kealoha, Kavika, Noah, and Zoe. The alternates are Micah and Ulumoku.
You can tell the outward team is really pulling.
Yes, you can. Are there only 2 canoes in this race?
Yes.
Yes, there are. So we automatically have our first and second right here.
So it's really just a battle for the first.
Yes, it really is.
And you can see that they're really pulling. Both teams are really pulling.
Yes, both teams are really trying their hardest to get to that first place.
Since it is a sprint, there's no need to really hold back.
Yeah, exactly. So you can truly give it your all at this straightaway to the finish line.
And it looks like they're really close together.
Yeah, it looks like they're keeping their distance pretty tight together, and they're trying to pull away.
And both teams are really pulling.
Yeah, they're really, yeah.
And from this angle, it looks really close, but I'm not sure from...
Yeah, from this angle, from the camera angle, it looks like it's really close. So all I can say is that they have to keep their heads down and pull harder. Then they're still. They seem to be finishing very soon. It's just a battle for first. All the way. Man, finishing strong, especially in these sprints, seem to be quite challenging.
Oh, and it seems Hilo has come in second.
Yes.
Because they kept paddling after the other team.
Yes. So unofficially second goes to Hilo High. That was a pretty good looking race though. They kept up and up with each other, so that was...
Yeah, they were pretty close together.
Yeah.
So both teams are really trying for that first place.
Yes, yes they were. And now we can see that they're waiting to paddle in, just to make sure that they don't collide with each other. So that was a really cool race.
Yeah, it was very intense. You could tell they were both teams are
Really giving it their all.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're digging deep inside the water.
Yeah.
And it looks like other teams are loading up right now for the next race.
Yeah, and I think this is actually the last race of the day, which is the Varsity Mix. That was one of my favorite races to paddle in. How about you?
Shoot, I don't even think I did a varsity.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe
It's still
I
pretty
did.
fun.
I
I mean,
remember.
honestly, it's been so long. So, yeah, and as we can see, they are paddling out now to the start line.
And while other teams are loading up.
Yeah, they're getting ready. I am so glad today is as sunny as it is.
Yeah, there were some really ugly days before.
Yeah, like just before I think it was raining. Now it's actually really hot, so.
There were some paddling meets I think that we were in when the weather was not like this.
Oh yes, no, I remember. I vaguely remember my last race senior year. It was like close to pouring. It was not fun.
Yeah, it would pour and then all the mulch on the beach
Yeah, all the
would
mulch
be in
on the
waves.
beach. Yeah, it was.
It was really disgusting.
Yeah, it was crazy. Bayfront. Yeah. As you can see, all the sticks on the ground. That all comes from the water. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Especially when you're loading up like what these teams are doing right now, you can like feel all the mulch.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah, it's like you want to hurry up and get in your canoe. So.
yeah, but like I said, I was seat 1, so I have to swim out.
That's right. I was always a C4, so I always had the Yako and stuff to help me.
Or I
to
would
the
just be
canoe.
like, I would just be a wuss and like climb in from the steersman
Oh, and
just
walk all the way
over.
up.
But the
Yeah.
coach was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, all in all, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's right.
It just makes you want to start the race already.
Yeah. It makes you really want to just start and go.
There seems to be a lot of teams lining up for this one.
Yeah, this is exciting. Excited.
It's just all about the steersman. They're just they're the important person.
Yeah, they do a lot of. They are responsible for a lot, but every seat is super important.
I always wanted to be steersman because I always thought they did nothing.
Wait.
Because like they're mostly just sticking, like during practice too, the steersmen that I had, they would just stick their paddle in the water and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah. I mean, I've tried steering a couple times, but only once in a race. So, and it was a quarter mile. I just had to go straight and make sure I didn't go into any other lane. I was super nervous, but it was super fun. Gained a lot of experience doing that.
Yeah, I had so much steersmen who just wouldn't paddle at all. They would just keep poking their
Oy.
paddle in, and it was irritating because we need like extra power.
Yes, especially in the back.
But then during some races, the steersman would paddle along, and
Yeah.
it would help. So
Yeah, it's all about having a good steersman, especially one that can hype you up when you're paddling.
oh yeah, they're usually the hype person as well.
Yes, yes. It's very fun to feed off their energy.
And this is the race where they turn, right?
Yes, this is a
Yeah,
race
so
where
that's even more important because steersmen need to be good at turning, and they need to tell seat 1 and 2 to kahi, which is
which helps bring the boat around
yeah,
around the flag.
where seat 1 and 2 lean over and they pull to the side, so it just makes the canoe turn faster.
Yeah, it really helps. And they also watch to make sure that the flag doesn't hook underneath the yako and the ama,
Yeah.
because then that would result in burying the flag.
So the
Which-
steersman
yeah.
timing needs to be on point, so they need to call the kahi at like the right time,
Yes.
and they need to poke their paddle to turn the canoe at the right time. It's just all about timing. So
Yeah,
it's
timing is essential.
having a good steersman can like either determine whether you win or if you lose the
Or
race.
lose, yeah. I've always wanted to try steering in a race, but I don't know. Not with the koa canoe, because during regular seasons we use koa wood canoes. So
Oh, really?
yes, yes we do. So all of these
wow.
canoes would be wood instead of these fiberglass canoes. And there is a difference when you.
That's what I
paddle.
heard. Yeah. I
Yeah.
heard koa canoes are like heavier.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, I don't quite remember. It's been a long time since I've stepped foot in a canoe, but yeah, there's a difference, and I mean, not saying that colliding canoes happen. It could, but it's even worse when it happens with a koa canoe because they're a lot harder to repair. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're very important. And as you can see here, we have Hilo High School.
All the teams are lining up. They're
Yes,
getting ready.
all the teams are lining up. And they're getting ready to start this
Seems most of
race.
them are already pretty much set in their positions.
Yeah. That's another thing, is that you really don't want to be waiting out there on the start line too long.
Yeah. Because again, they make 1 and 2 keep the canoe like straight because it can drift a lot. So, and I think passing the flag.
Oh
is,
yeah,
also
that's also a disqualification.
So you have to just keep it in line.
You have to make sure, and that's why they have ball folders to help you sometimes.
But it looks like they're about to start.
Yes. Looks like they are about to start.
I think the starting boat is I think just checking
Yeah, to
all the
make
canoes
sure.
are like in their right positions and
Mhm.
stuff.
And no one's over the line.
And it's only a matter of time before he's gonna wave the yellow flag
Yes.
after all the checking is done.
This is always the most fun part. I always found it fun anyway to get out of this start line.
It's the most nerve-wracking part, especially when the yellow flag starts waving,
Yeah.
and the steersman will call paddles up.
Yes. Oh, that's the most fun part, in my opinion. And now we're just waiting for the start.
And I'm not sure if you can see, but the steersman is constantly poking their paddle in to keep the boat,
To keep the
to
boat
keep the canoe like
straight.
straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're always working, even when everyone else is resting, as right now.
Because if not, they might start off in a different direction. That's not what we want.
Yes.
Because the current will push them into a certain direction, which is why that steersman has to be sure to keep poking to make sure it's straight when they start.
Yeah, and Hilo Bay is not that bad, but
Yeah.
especially out in Kona when
Kona.
when there's no break wall to keep the tide in check. Yeah, it can drift really easily.
Kona is very interesting to paddle in. I always found it the hardest course.
Oh no, it turns out they're waiting for another team
Oh,
to
I
start.
see. Yeah, they're waiting for another team. Alrighty.
Another team paddling out right now.
I'm not sure who this team is. It might be KVIKS. Not 100% sure. But yeah, they're just paddling out to their lane and then they're gonna line up. Like I said, they are timed, I believe, maybe 5-7 minutes. I am not 100% sure, but they are timed to get out there. If not, they will start the race.
Seems this team is on a very far lane.
Yeah, and it seems that the starter boat is getting ready to start. So probably right when they get there, they will start the race.
Oh yeah, well that sucks too, because like when you're paddling out, and then right when you line up and you start, like there's no time to rest. So
Yeah, which is why the coaches and whomever is controlling that canoe to ensure that they're there in the right amount of time.
yeah, so like this team paddling out right now, I think right when they literally right when they stop, they're gonna start the race.
Yeah.
So there's really, because they're using energy right now to just paddle out there.
Yes, they are.
So yeah.
And I would think sometimes, I'm not sure, sometimes the officials may not wait until they are parked. Sometimes it just sort of depends, I assume.
Yeah, there were a couple races like that where like literally right when we stop on the starting line, they would start waving the flag.
Yes.
So there was no time at all to just
Yes,
like rest.
due to that time that they get.
And you can see 1 and 2 are doing the kahi. They're digging in to keep the canoe.
Yes, and as you can see here, it is the start boat that they're getting ready to wave that flag.
Maybe they're about to start any second now.
Yes, they are. The yellow flag is raised.
The steersmen are gonna call paddles up. Yeah,
It's
paddles up.
waving, and they're off. They are started. And as we can hear anyway, the beach is cheering for their teams.
And it seems like all of the teams really pulled really hard on that initial pull.
Yes, it
Because
really...
starting off at a strong pull is really important, so it makes the canoe glide.
Yes, it is. It's very important. I really enjoy the starts. It's super fun.
And once all the teams have their canoes gliding on the water, it's pretty much anyone's game.
Yeah, it's pretty much maintaining what you
Just
have.
maintaining their energy and their same, the stamina and their same pace, which starts to fall as they make that turn, but we'll see what happens.
As I can see in front of us, it seems that Hilo is pulling in the front.
Yep, Hilo's in the front right
Yeah,
now.
oh my goodness. I'm so excited.
And Kamehameha is also pulling forward. They're in 3rd place right now, Kamehameha.
I see.
With Hilo in 1st and
Oh, yeah.
farthest team out
Interesting.
2nd.
Interesting.
But looks like Kamehameha is catching up to Hilo, but Hilo is still maintaining that 1st position.
Yes. And these inside lanes, as in lane 1 and 2, seem to be fighting for that 1st place. So as they approach the turn, they are going to get ready to turn around that flag and race back.
And the turn is the most important part. All the teams need to make sure they keep the energy up, because it tends to die down as they make that turn.
Yes. I really enjoyed the starts and the turns. But as you can see, they are approaching their turns, which is the most important for steersmen.
And the innermost lane is turning right now,
Yes.
or they're about to make their turn.
They're getting ready to turn.
And Hilo is also reaching their turning point as well.
And 1 is in their turn first. And lane 2 is also in their turn, and 3 followed by Hilo High on the outside. And now they just have to race back.
Hilo is still kahiing.
Yes, Hilo is still kahiing, and they're out.
And they just got out of the turn. So seat number 2 went back to his normal position.
Yes.
And now this is the moment where they need to really push,
Yes, they
because
do.
a lot of teams lose their stamina, but this innermost team, the team closest to us, is really pulling fast.
Yes. So in the Hilo High School canoe, we have Alina, Eha, Bailea, Ohai, Reina as an alternate, Kahea, and Lihao. Our other alternates are Kahalia and Malakai for this varsity mix. And the races seem to still be going on, and Hilo High seems to be falling back.
The team closest to us, I think, is in 1st with KL fighting for second.
And KVIKS fighting for third. And they seem to be finishing up their races very soon.
I want to say the team closest to us is HPA, but I'm not.
I believe that is HPA, yes. Yes. And they seem to be fighting very hard for that first place against Cal.
Looks like Hilo and Kamehameha are also fighting for whatever position. I think fourth.
Yeah.
They're just trying to come in before someone else. They're still going. Hilo looks like to really be pulling. You can see seat 1.
Giving it their all.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, their body is like throwing itself forward.
Yes. Yes.
And they just made it, finished. So I think Hilo came in 4th.
Yeah, unofficially. I can barely tell from this angle, but yeah, every team seems to be fighting very hard for this race. There's still one more canoe out on the course. I'm not entirely sure. Might be not too sure. But yeah, there's still one more canoe on this course racing.
And all the teams are going back to their places on the beach. Was that the last race?
Yeah, I believe that was the last race of the day. Yeah, so yeah. That was the last race of the day, guys.
I think.
I think. Yeah.
I don't remember regattas being this fast, but
because you were in them.
yeah. But I'm not sure. Maybe that wasn't last race.
I believe it was. Yes.
And you can see the teams just kind of cruising their way back. That's the time because their adrenaline is like pumping right now.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this regatta, do you have any final thoughts on the races and how they went today?
Oh, the races were pretty. The races were good. It's like I remember it when I was paddling. It's the same thing. All the teams pulling their hardest, making the turns really fast, and just keeping everything in check.
Yeah, I really liked today. The weather held up great for this regatta, and I believe that Hilo High and Navi did really good today as well.
Yeah, I believe that was maybe the last race. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might have been. That was all that was on our schedule, but anyway. But yeah, I think it was wonderful to have it live streamed for the first time. I believe KVIKS did.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware that KVIKS did paddling. So when I heard that there was a paddling stream, I was like, oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool actually. I was really glad to be a part of this today.
Yeah, it's really cool that KVIKS is able to stream like pretty much all the sports that are going on.
Yeah, and I believe, what was it, last week they did soccer? I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, there were a lot of sports that happened. There was basketball and then soccer. Yeah, no paddling.
Yeah, I think it's great.
We'll know if it's the final race if all the teams are taking out their canoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked like Hilo was pulling really hard in all the races. But yeah, again, it's like important to just keep the pace.
Yeah.
Because we noticed that, like, in that last race that we just saw, Hilo was like one of the first, like, teams
Yeah, into that turn.
in the beginning. But yeah, just like we said, whenever the turn comes, it's important to just either raise the energy or keep it the same as when you're going into the turn. Because we noticed how most of the teams who were in the front at the start of the race kind of pulled behind after the turn. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so by the applause, I believe the races are over.
yeah, you can see them getting the buggies out,
Yeah.
which is those tire things that help hold the
Hold the
canoe.
help bring the canoes up.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, so as you can see, I think they're gonna start taking out the canoes.
We used to take a while to take the canoes out, and it would frustrate the coaches a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But we used to have a lot of practice taking them out, so.
Yeah, and the entire team would take it to the point where you could just like put your hand on it and just walk with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't take that much people. I mean, the coach only said there should only be 6 carrying the canoe. But, yeah, whatever.
Alrighty, so I guess that is all for the regatta today. Again, if you're watching the live right now, be sure to share this link with your friends and family and have them tune in as well. Yeah, and then they can watch it again if they want to, because this will be up on their YouTube channel and FHS after the game is done, which is now. So if you missed any part of it and you want to watch it again, you can access it on YouTube at KVIKS? Yeah, KVIKS. So yeah, if you have not done so yet, please follow Hilo High School on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Hilo High School, and download their app and visit their official website at hilohigh.org. And if you're interested in following our KVIKS Media program, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at KVIKS Media, and visit their official website at kviks.org. Again, I am Makomai Komakomauhili, and this is Laiku, and that is all from us today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Tots. Thank you for watching KVIKS. For more information, visit us online at hilohigh.org or download our app. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Hilo High School. Thanks for watching.